अकरम शाह करीम अल 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 अकरम। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद। हम आज के सेशन का आगाज मुलाही के मुबारक नाम से करते हैं। या नूर मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम। या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा अलैयुल कय्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। या मौला तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला। शाह करीम अल अकरम शाह करीम अल अकरम। या मौला करीम तो ही सबसे ज्यादा मेहरबान और करम करने वाला है। या मौलाए मेहरबान हम गरीबों को तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी इनायत फरमा ताकि हम तेरे कुछ इल्मी काम को बजा ला सके। Thank you for inviting this Garib and Nachis on this channel once again. As we promised, we will try to keep this session in 2 languages, probably 3. I will switch between English and Urdu, and wherever Gujarati is needed, we will also use this 3rd language. If I say something in English, and if you do not understand, or if you like me to repeat in Urdu, and vice versa, अगर मैं कुछ उर्दू में बोलता हूँ और आपको इंग्लिश में सुनना हो तो आप जरूर raise your hand and I will try to repeat in other languages. आज का हमारा टॉपिक गिनान है और हम उस गिनान की तरफ चलेंगे कि जिसके बारे में हमने अपने पिछले सेशन के अंदर कुछ चर्चा की थी। लेकिन पहले गिनान क्या है? किसी को अगर हम पूछे कि गिनान क्या है तो वो कहेंगे कि ये हमारी एक ट्रेडिशन है, या कहेंगे कि हमारे पीरों ने हमारे लिए इल्म गिनानों की सूरत में छोड़ा हुआ है। लेकिन मुश्किल से कभी आपको कोई ऐसा शख्स नजर में आएगा जो आपको बताए कि गिनान हकीकत में वो इल्मे लदुनी है जो हमारे पीरों ने अपने जाती आलमे शख्सी में experience किया. What are ginans? If we ask, some may say Ginan are our tradition. Some would say Ginan are the ilm which our peer left for us. But you will not find very many or hardly any that would tell you that Ginans are actually the Ruhaniyat which our peer experience in their personal world, in their batin, in their Ruhaniyat, in their ibadat. Whatever they saw and whatever they experienced, they wrote the Ginan in such a way that they told us everything without telling us the original source of this ilm. And then sometime when they did tell us the original source of this ilm, we, not understanding the language or the vocabulary, जब उन्होंने हमें बताया भी कि ये इल्म कहाँ से और किस तरह से आ रहा है, तो हम ना समझ पाए, कभी ज़बान की मुश्किल की वजह से और कभी अल्फाजों की मुश्किल की वजह से, due to the language and lack of vocabulary. Let me give you an example. When Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the last day or on the final day of his Ruhaniyat, when he was busy in his ibadat in Gare Hira, and the angel Jibril presented himself and said, "O Muhammad, read." Muhammad said, "I cannot read." What language was Jibril presenting to Muhammad? Was he presenting anything other than Arabic? Was he presenting a strange language of the world which Muhammad did not know? Actually, that was not the case. Ahle Shariat, Ahle Kitab, those people will tell you maybe Muhammad was not a literate person. He was not an educated person. But I do not agree with that school of thought for two reasons, logical reason. One, Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not from any ordinary family, but he was from the family of Abu Muttalib, Abu Hashim, Quraysh tribe, which was the elite and very educated tribe. Second, he was the chief accountant, advisor, businessman to Bibi Khadija. She was a very sharp businesswoman. She would not have hired an uneducated man. So what does this tell us? The language which Jibril was showing him was the language and verbiage of the Ruhaniyat, the Batin. And how is the language spoken? Is it spoken like I'm talking right now and you are listening right now? No, it's not spoken like that. The spiritual language is in allegories, symbols, राज और इशारों के अंदर उसको बयान किया जाता है। इसलिए उन्होंने, आप जनाब ने कहा कि ये एलोगोरीज, ये इशारे, ये सीक्रेट्स मैं नहीं जानता हूं। तो जिब्राइल ने फरमाया कि पढ़ो अल्लाह के नाम से, God will help you. Remember this principle. Read in the name of Allah, He will help you. Let's come back to the Ginan. Remember that principle. We come back to the Ginan. The reason we do not know, and most of the time we do not understand the Ginan, because it is written in spiritual language, allegories, the verbiage which has been used are unknown to us. So how do we understand Ginan? What was the principle we just learned? Read in the name of Allah. Allah will teach you the language and vocabulary. Now, before we go further, there are other things happened, especially within last 100 years. The more and more emphasis was given to the sound, singing, voice, presentation, and less attention was given to the understanding and the tawil of the Ginan. Do you all agree with me on this part? Even when we say that I do not understand this Ginan, the most they will do is give you a translation of the Ginan, but no meaning, no understanding, and no tawil interpretation of the Ginan are presented anymore. And for whatever reason, we are just happy with the vocal, sound, presentation, and we almost have forgotten or have ignored the meaning behind those Ginan. As we were talking about it last week, or in our last session, those who have gifted talent of singing Ginan, who has beautiful voices, beautiful presentation, it is upon them to learn the Ginan, understand the meaning, try to find the tawil in the Ginan. If you don't know where, find those people who could give you the understanding of these Ginans So when Jamaat comes to you and say, how beautiful you sing, instead of getting happy that, yeah, I have a beautiful voice, you could say, let me tell you the meaning of this Ginan. That would be your khidmat of time and knowledge to the Jamaat and the Memani to the Imam-e-Zaman. Imam would be very happy with you from presenting this time and knowledge khidmat for the Jamaat. Learn, learn, learn. Mullah said it 11 times in Diamond Jubilee Farman in Karachi, Pakistan. Learn, learn, learn 11 times. As a murid, we should do exactly that. आप में से जो अच्छे गिनान बोलने वाले हैं, अगर वो गिनान की मानी को सीख लें, चूंकि उनको मौला ने एक अच्छा टैलेंट, एक अच्छी आवाज दी है, और जब जमात उनके पास आए कि आप कितना अच्छा गिनान पढ़ते हैं, तो खुश होने की बजाय उसको कहे, आओ मैं तुम्हें इसके मायने भी बताता हूं, मैं इसकी मायने भी तुम्हें बताती हूं। अगर आप ये काम करते हैं तो इसमें मौला की बहुत बड़ी खुशनुदी आपके लिए होगी, क्योंकि ये टाइम और नॉलेज का नजराना आप इमाम को पेश कर सकते हैं। And I believe this will make Imam very, very happy. Now that we have laid the foundation, the basic understanding, let's take the very Ginan that our friend had sang for us beautifully. And we had talked about it very superficially, सती ऊपर से। आज हम इस गिनान की बातीन के अंदर उतरते हैं। सबसे पहले याद रखें कि गिनान उस जमाने में लिखे गए थे जबकि अभी अभी हम हिंदू से मुसलमान और इस्माइली बन रहे थे। So remember this part. This Ginan were written when we were just converting from Hindu to Muslim and Ismaili. So the language which was used and the examples which were used were Hindu terminology. The words and the terms were Hindu term, not a Muslim term. If you would look at some of the qasidas and munajat of peers from the other continent, not the subcontinent of India, but for example, Pir Nasir Khusro. He has also written over 1,000 Ginans. In them, you will not find any Hindu terminologies, but you will find Muslim Islamic words and terms, because he had came from Iran and then from Syria, Iraq, into the northern Pakistan and greater Tajikistan, where people did not speak Gujarati and they were not converted from Hindu to Muslim, but they were Muslim from generation to generation, and most all the way dated back to Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself. So let's look at this Ginan. The word Kal Yug. What is the Kal Yug in Islamic term? The end of the time of Qiyamah, the last period. So instead of using the Hindu terminology, we will use Islamic terminologies. So Pir Sahib is saying, "Oh brother, oh believer." Underline word, he said, "I am only speaking to who are my brother and who are the believers. If you are not within the Jamaat, nor a believer, अगर आप ईमान वाले नहीं हैं और जमात के मेंबर नहीं हैं, then he is not speaking to you. You will find same methodology in Quran. In Quran, Allah refers to, "O humankind," all people. "O you who believe," the believers. "O you who have believed and have done good," who are righteous, mu'mineen. That's how Allah speaks to different groups of people. Then he speaks to, "O Bani Adam," O children of Adam. Who are the true children of Adam? Who have followed Adam, Noah, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, and Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those are called the children of Adam. Other are not called children of Adam, even though they are human. So they are just called, "O you people." But when Allah says, "O Bani Adam," He's talking to a particular group of people. Our Dais and Ujjatan has explained the higher level of Bani Adam are Prophet themselves. Then Imaman, Hujjatan, Dayan, Wali, etc. They are the, in true sense, Bani Adam, the true children of Adam. All other humans maybe, or they think they are children of Adam because they are human. But when Allah says Bani Adam, He is not talking to common man, but a particular selected group of people. All right. So, in Pir Sahib, in the very first part says, "O brother, O believer," particular people. The fourth era of last period, I'm going to remove the Hindu terminology, has come. Behold its strange happenings. पहले उर्दू में तो सिंपल ट्रांसलेशन, गुजराती में सिंपल ट्रांसलेशन, ताकि आप इन्हें समझी सकिए। ए ईमान वालों, आखिरी जमाने के अजायब व गरायब आपके सामने है। ए मोमिनो, आखिरी जमाना ना अजीब व गरीब चीजों तुम्हारा सामने छे। You see how easy it was to remove the Hindu terminology and put in the correct terms that all of us can understand. The time, the end of the time, Akhir Zamana. Where did I bring and how did we learn this term? आखिरी ज़माना. Imam Aga Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alayhi, may our soul be sacrificed to their Imam himself. At the age of less than 8-year-old, in his very first farman, uses this term, this word. ये ज़माना आखिर है. देखा, मौला ने हिंदू टर्म यूज नहीं किया, कुरानिक टर्म यूज किया. ये ज़माना आखिर है और इसके अंदर मोमिनीन माजिज़ात को देखेंगे. तमाम माजिज़ात को देखेंगे. जो ईमान वाले होंगे वो उस पर यकीन करेंगे और जो अधूरे दिल वाले होंगे वो उस पर यकीन नहीं करेंगे. Now this Ginan and this Farman. Peace are saying, O believer, at the end of the time, you will see these strange happenings. अजायब और गरायब को आप देखोगे. आपने देखा फरमान में भी, आपने देखा गिनान में भी. क़यामत के अजायब और गरायब क्या है? मौला अपने फरमान में भी एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, यहां पर गिनान में भी पीर साहब एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. It's not necessary that Imam uses the same example as the Peer, or Peer would use the same example as a teacher today, because examples are given according to the time, according to the listeners, the audience. अगर बच्चे को सिखाते हैं तो बच्चे जैसी मिसालें देनी होती है. अगर बड़ों को सिखाते हैं तो बड़ों जैसी एग्जाम्पल देनी होती है. अगर पढ़े लिखे हैं तो पढ़े लिखों की एग्जाम्पल होगी. आपने देखा कि एग्जाम्पल मस्ट चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑडियंस and the time and the age. इमाम अपने फरमान में जो मिसालें बयान करते हैं वो इस तरह से है कि क़यामत के ज़माने में मोमिनीन माजिज़ात को देखेंगे और दूसरे भी देखेंगे लेकिन यकीन नहीं करेंगे. उनको क्योंकि वो दिल के अंधे हैं. तो मिसाल यूज की गई दिल की कि वो दिल से अंधे हैं. और मौला फरमाते हैं चूंकि ये अंधे हैं उसके आगे एक मिरर और ठेकरी. ठेकरी क्ले को कहते हैं, मिट्टी के जो बर्तन होते हैं ना उसको कहते हैं ठेकरी. कि इसको ठेकरी दो या आईना दो उनके लिए बराबर है. क्यों? कि वो अंधे हैं. ये आंखों से अंधे नहीं है, दिल की आंखों से अंधे हैं. क्या कहा मौला ने कि देखेंगे तो दोनों ही, मोमिन भी देखेंगे, बेईमान भी देखेंगे, लेकिन बेईमान यकीन नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि वो दिल के अंधे हैं. यहां पर पीर साहब फरमाते हैं कि कुछ एग्जाम्पल देते हैं, दौरे आखिर के एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. और यहां पर पीर साहब भी एक मकाम पर ठेकरी की एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. आए हम गिनान की तरफ आते हैं. पहली एग्जाम्पल देते हैं कि आप देखोगे कि शागिर्द उस्ताद से आर्ग्यूमेंट करता होगा. The disciple will have quarrel with the master. Now, we can understand this in a negative way or in a positive way. I will leave it up to you. I will give you both examples. You can take the negative example or you can take the positive example. Positive example first. Because we are living in the time of intellectual era, there are a lot of debates, a lot of learning and teaching. The children are much more smarter due to the time and the tools which are available to them to learn. ये जमाना में बच्चे बहुत होशियार हैं क्योंकि उनकी जो लर्निंग है वो हमसे कहीं ज्यादा तेज है क्योंकि उनके पास ऐसी चीजें मौजूद है सीखने के लिए जो हमारे पास नहीं थी और इसकी वजह से डिबेट इज इनकरेज्ड इसी वजह से डिबेट को इनकरेज किया जाता है इस जमाने में आप अपने बच्चों से डिस्कशन करते हैं पुराने जमाने में ऐसा नहीं होता था माँ बाप जो कहते थे बस वो हो जाता था there was no debate there was no argument there was no voting there were no opinions there was only one way my way or highway that's how it was because the knowledge the tools of learning was not there तो पीर साहब ने हमें बताया कि आपको कैसा पता चलेगा कि ये जमाना आखिर है ये दौरे क़यामत आ गया आपको कैसा पता चलेगा तो उसकी पहली निशानी ये है कि मास्टर एंड डिसाइपल टीचर एंड स्टूडेंट will have a debate and they will equally will be able to bring the knowledge to the table they can both bring their thesis their understanding their learning their arguments on the table they both will be able to do that this will be the first symbol of the time of the Qiyamah, of the time of the end of the time. That was the positive. I'll take it as a positive sign from the peer. But what kind of learning would I be giving if I cannot talk about negative at the same time positive? Correct? Negative. नेगेटिव ये है कि बच्चे लोग इतने होशियार हो गए कि समटाइम दे विल आर्ग्यू विद द टीचर एंड द पेरेंट्स अननेसेसरी विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग विदाउट लर्निंग विदाउट हैविंग एनी एक्सपीरियंस दे विल आर्ग्यू विद द टीचर एंड दे विल आर्ग्यू विद द पेरेंट्स दैट्स अ नेगेटिव पार्ट In the Quran, Allah says, there are people amongst you who argue about Allah without having any wisdom or knowledge, nor they have the light, nor they have the guidance. So now we have Ginan, now we have the example, now we have Quranic reference. How do we take it? Negatively? Up to you. Positively? up to you. I am presenting both sides of this Ginan with cross references. Acha. Second or the third part. Again, oh brother, in this time, at the end of the time, in the time of Qiyamah, the two brothers will fight. And they will fight like a bulls. हम उर्दू में बोलते हैं ना सर टकराना. They both will be strong and they will fight like a bull. Because they both will be strong. Positive and negative. Because if they are both strong in their ilm and amal, then the positive is they both will be able to bring their side of the learning, debate, arguments on the table. And there is nothing wrong with that. Having two brothers debating. Let's take an example. Let's say if we were all in the same business, few brothers in the same business with the father. They could have a healthy debate. I think we should buy this. We should be able to make more money. We should not do this business because there is a chance we will lose money. We should save this much money for the future. They can have this healthy discussion, debate, argument, because now everyone in the time of Qiyamah are much more educated and able to bring their thoughts, the logical argument to the table. So is it bad to have two brothers arguing? As long at the end, they both understand it is for the benefit of the family. क्या कहा कि अगर दो भाई जो पढ़े लिखे हैं एक ही बिजनेस करते हैं, अगर वो डिबेट करते हैं आपस में तो ये तो अच्छी बात है. और आखिर में अगर उनकी नीयत जो है कि फैमिली का फायदा हो तो इसमें क्या बुराई हो सकती है. This was the positive side of this part. Let's put a negative side to it. And you can take whichever you like. Because they both brothers have their own agenda. And they do not want to listen to each other. So now, without having the true knowledge or good intention in heart, they are arguing with each other. And you will see that also in the time of Qiyamah. But I wanted to draw your attention. I want to draw your attention to two sons of Adam, Habil and Qabil. That was not the time of Qiyamah, was it? That was not the end of the time. Those two brothers were arguing. And that was the beginning of the time. Do you see? Two brothers arguing is not a new phenomenon, nor it is limited to the end of the time. ये बात जो है कि दो भाई आपस में लड़ेंगे, ये सिर्फ दौरे क़यामत आखिर ज़माने के लिए नहीं है, बल्कि हम देखते हैं कि आदम यानी कि शुरू के अंदर ही दोनों भाइयों का झगड़ा हुआ था, हाबिल और काबिल का, और काबिल ने हाबिल को शहीद कर दिया था. So how can we say कि पीर साहब ने कहा कि ये तो आखिर ज़माने में सिर्फ होने वाला है, आज नहीं होता है और पहले कभी भी नहीं हुआ था. That's why I do not like to take the negative side of this Ginan. I would prefer for myself and whoever like to take it, the positive side of this Ginan. Ginan is here to teach us, to guide us. Teacher, Ginan is not here, so it will bring a negative thought in our mind. गिनान हमें पढ़ाने, सिखाने और आगे ले जाने के लिए है. हमारे दिमाग में गलत सलत बातों को जमा करने के लिए गिनान नहीं होते हैं. If you give me permission, I would like to challenge your heart and your mind for a second. Most of you on this line are over the ages of 30, 40, 50. आपने ये गिनान पहले भी सुना है. आपने इस गिनान के अंदर से एक भी पॉजिटिव चीज को सुना था, याद किया था, दिल में रखा था, या हमेशा ऐसा सोचा था कि आखिरी के जमाने में तो बहुत बुरा होने वाला है. उस्ताद टीचर, शागिर्द टीचर से लड़ेगा, भाई भाई से लड़ेगा, बेटी माँ से लड़ेंगी, सास बहू से लड़ेंगी. सारी नेगेटिव चीजों को हमने अपने दिल में जगह दी थी. Am I right? Am I right? गिनान हमारे दिल को बुराइयों का जमा करने का तरीका नहीं है. गिनान हमें पॉजिटिव थॉट्स को जमा करने का तरीका है. Take this as a warning and a lesson for the day. Ginan is here for us to think positively and to move forward, not a negative thing. Yes, you're right. I am not sharing my screen because I'm just have a rough notes. If you want, I could share my rough notes with you. Otherwise, I'm not sharing any Ginan because this Ginan is very familiar and we have read this Ginan in our previous session. So if you still like to see my notes, I'll be happy to share. Okay, the fourth part. The mother and the daughter will have argument. If we understood the disciple and the master, if we understood the brother and brother, then we will understand the mother and the daughter. A healthy discussion, a healthy debate. Because in this time and age, children are much more educated, much more logical, and they are able to have same level of debate as our parents. I love to talk to my children and have debate with them. Not argument, logical debate. Because they know things that we do not know. But we have the experience. So what do we share? What do we bring to the table? Our experience. What do they bring to the table? Their education. That is our fourth part about mother and daughter. The next part I will explore a little bit further. Again, this part, I remember our Jamaat has taken it so negatively, incorrectly, that it has hurt our Jamaat, our women, and our families. That in the time of the Qiyamah, at the end of the time, it would be normal for you to see a mother saas and the daughter, the bahu, arguing about things. That is a sign of illiteracy. They may be educated, but they are still ignorant, uneducated, I would say. Because the saas does not believe the bahu is also someone's daughter. And this bahu does not understand the saas is also someone's mother. If you treat each other with respect, you will both benefit. But look at how we play a role in that. We tell the saas, bahu is no good. We tell the bahu, your saas is no good. The wife tells the husband and the son, your mother is no good. The mother says the son and the husband, your wife is no good. We, in our ignorancy, in our jahalat, we are losing good family environment. And this has become a norm that as soon you come in, kick the saas out. Or saas does the same thing for the bahu. As soon the son is married, kick the bahu out. That has become a fashion, a norm. That has become norm. Now, as I said it in our previous session, from this Ginan, what is wrong? A saas making a chai or warming up a dinner for the bahu. What is wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong. Let's take some example. Your daughter-in-law, आपकी बहू, educated है, 8-10-12 घंटे काम करती है, डॉक्टर है, इंजीनियर है, नर्स है, वो थक कर घर पे आती है. आप चाय बना रहे हैं, आप अपने लिए भी एक कप भरते हैं, अपनी बहू को भी एक कप पिलाते हैं. कोई देखता है आपको, बहू कितनी खराब है, सास से काम करवाती है. Your shaitan within you is whispering in your ear. इसमें क्या खराबी है? चले इस मिसाल को उल्टा करते हैं. आप और आपकी बेटी साथ में रहते हैं. आपकी बेटी 8-10-12 घंटे काम करती है, नर्स है, डॉक्टर है, इंजीनियर है. वो थक के घर पे आती है. माँ कहती है बेटा थक गई है, चाय बना दो. वो चाय बनाती है अपनी बेटी को, कोई मसला नहीं है. नो डिबेट, नो आर्ग्यूमेंट, नो बैड फीलिंग. भाई क्यों? ये भी आपकी बेटी है, वो भी एक बेटी है, एक लड़की है. क्या फर्क है इसके अंदर? क्यों हम अपने आप को इस झंझट के अंदर डाले हुए हैं? Was I right when I said we have taken this Ginan in such a negative way? We have destroyed our home, our family environment. और फिर क्या बोलते हैं? वो पीर साहब ने बोला है ना, पीर साहब ने बोला था ना, सास चाय बनाएगी, बहू आराम करेंगी. पीर साहब ने बोला है ना. Blaming on Pir Sahib, not blaming our own ignorancy, that it was our ignorancy that we did not understand the knowledge, the talim, the guidance in the Ginan. Pir Sahib ने तो हमको एक पॉजिटिव इल्म दिया था. It was our ignorancy कि हमने उसको नेगेटिव लिया. लेकिन याद रखें फ्री विल आपकी है. You do not have to take the positive as I am teaching. You take what you like. But if you do take the positive, you will see the changes in your life, in your family. If you keep the negative, you will keep the negative, hostile environment in your family. Choice, free will is yours. I can teach, I cannot force. I teach, I cannot tell you what to do. I cannot take your free will. All right, let's come to the sixth part. And there are some beautiful, beautiful verses. And I'm going to take the sixth part is very simple. The young boy and young girl will act like older. There's the Quranic verse. कि क़यामत के ज़माने में बच्चे बुजुर्ग हो गए. They will be much more intellectual as elders. So we already know that. So we're not going to worry about the sixth one. I will take the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th together. Part 7, 8, 9, and 10. यहाँ पर पीर साहब ने एक रूहानियत की बात करी है. जाहिर की बात नहीं. All the above debate, Ginan parts, were to teach you, to draw your attention about the time of Qiyamah. It was never about disciple and a master, mother and a daughter, and all of that. It was never about that. He was teaching you simply a debate for you to pay attention to the time of Qiyamah. Now, he's giving you the result of the time of Qiyamah in this 4 part. आप गिनान के ये पार्ट खुद ही पढ़ लें. ये गिनान जो है वो आपको पता है कौन सा गिनान है. ये अजब अजायब देखो मोहम्मद भाई, ये गिनान है. आप उसको ऑनलाइन जाकर पढ़ सकते हैं. और हमने इसको अपने पिछले सेशन में पढ़ा भी था, ट्रांसलेशन भी किया था. ये 4 पार्ट जो है वहां पर रूहानियत के राज आपको बताए गए हैं. और क्या फरमाते हैं कि क़यामत के अंदर कुछ किस्म के लोग हो गए. द एग्जाम्पल इज गिवन, आर्मी की एग्जाम्पल दी गई है कि क़यामत के जमाने में कुछ किस्म की आर्मी होगी, लोग हो गए. पहले जो होंगे उसको पानी मिलेगा, दूसरे जो होंगे उसको मड मिलेगा, तीसरे जो होंगे वो धूल की तरह उड़ेंगे, और जो चौथे होंगे वो ठंडी छांव में होंगे. Now tell me, what do you understand from this part of the Ginan? Nothing. Nothing. क्यों? Remember at the beginning I had given example and I asked everyone to remember that part. What was that? कितने को याद है कि मैंने शुरू में क्या बोला था कि याद रखना इसकी हमको जरूरत पड़ेगी आखिर में. नाचीज ने आपको हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की मिसाल दी थी कि जब उसके सामने रूहानियत की चीज पढ़ी गई, जिब्राइल ने पढ़ा तो उसने कहा मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है कि तू क्या पढ़ रहा है और तू मुझे क्या पढ़ने के लिए कह रहा है. Do you remember that? You remember that, right? यहां पर पीर साहब आपके सामने ऐसी एक चीज रख रहे हैं कि जो जाहिर की नहीं बातीन की है. इसलिए नाचीज ने गारंटी से कहा कि ये दो पार्ट और अगले दो पार्ट किसी को भी समझ में नहीं आएंगे। कब तक? ये भी नाचिज ने पहले ही कह दिया था कि जब तक आप मौला के नाम पर मौला से मदद तलब करते हुए तौफीक ताईद हिम्मत व यारी, या अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, या मौला हमारी मदद कर, जब तक मौला की मदद साथ में ना हो ये कभी भी समझ में नहीं आ सकता है। और ये हमने कहां से सीखा? हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के किस्से से सुना। आपने देखा कि किस तरह से हमारे लिए पे अटेंशन करना इल्म के अंदर बहुत ही जरूरी है। अगर हम पे अटेंशन नहीं करेंगे तो फिर ये चीजें जो हमें गिनान के अंदर समझाई जा रही है वो हम कभी भी नहीं समझेंगे। आए हम इसको समझते हैं। 4 किस्म की आर्मी, 4 किस्म के लोग हैं। पहले वो है जिसको पानी मिलेगा, पानी का मतलब है इल्म। पहले वो है जिसको इल्म मिलेगा। दूसरे वो है जिसको मड मिलेंगी। मड बोलते हैं कि जो मुस्तजीब हो, मोमिन हो और इल्म को अपने अंदर लेगा तो उसकी मिसाल मड की है। Let me explain this in English. The first set of mu'minin will receive the knowledge. Second set of mu'minin will become mud, because the example of a mu'min is the dust or the clay. और क्ले के अंदर क्या होता है? मट्टी होती है और पानी होता है। ये एक मोमिन की निशानी है। Where do I find that? Go into the Quran again. Surah 2, ayat number 30, 31, 32. Read the references of Adam, that Allah brought the dust from the earth and put water in it and made a mud and molded Adam with that mud. ये मड जो है वो मोमिन की निशानी है। तो पीर साहब क्या फरमाते हैं कि 4 किस्म के लोग हैं। एक जो इल्म लेते हैं, कभी भी हकीकी मोमिन नहीं बनते हैं। गौर से सुने मेरी बात को। इल्म तो लेते हैं, कभी भी हकीकी मोमिन नहीं बनते हैं, क्योंकि हकीकी मोमिन बनने के लिए अपने आप को मट्टी की तरह नरम करना होता है। मड जिस तरह से मोल्ड होता है इस तरह से मोल्ड होना पड़ता है। Then third kind, the dust in the air, जो मट्टी हवा में उड़ती है। ये उन मोमिनों की तरफ इशारा है जो अपनी रूह को हल्का करके उड़ाते हैं। जिस तरह मट्टी हवा में उड़ती है, मोमिन अपनी रूह को उड़ाता है। चूंकि मोमिन मट्टी की मिसाल पर है, और यहां पर जो मिसाल है कि वो मोमिन जो अपने आप को हल्का कर लेता है, इसकी रूह हवा में उड़ती है। अगर आपको ये बात समझ में आ गई है तो मोमिनो सलवात पढ़े अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व अला मुहम्मद, क्योंकि ये रूहानियत के राजों में से है। ये इमाम के नाम पर है, ये इमाम के नाम से होता है। इमाम की हिदायत के बगैर नहीं होता है ये। अगर आपको इमाम के इल्म की प्रेजेंस फील हुई है ये बात सुनकर, तो सलवात पढ़ें अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व अला मुहम्मद। फोर्थ, आर्मी or the mu'min are those who are fana fi imam, in the shadow of the रहमत of the imam. तो क्या कहा कि ये जो लोग हैं, ये आर्मी है, ये मोमिन है, वो इमाम की ठंडी छाव में हो गए, क्योंकि वो फनाफी इमाम हो गए. तो नाचीज यहां पर इसको रोकता है ताकि हमारे पास कुछ वक्त हो अच्छी सवालात के लिए या कमेंट्स के लिए. बहुत नवाजिश, thank you for giving this Garib and Nachis an opportunity to come and speak with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a very beautiful session. And we do have quite a few questions in the chat box, if you may want me to address. Some are pertaining to the Ginan and some are not pertaining to the Ginan. But if you remember, Yarimeda, thank you for hosting this. It was a really, truly, good thing to do. And thank you. So we have our first question that says, as said in the previous lectures, when we die, our free will be taken away. If yes, so then our intellect will also be taken away. Because if there is no free will, then what will be the purpose and function of intellect in the spiritual world, even if the intellect comes with us after death? Can I have your valuable thoughts on this question, sir? Because this is the third time I think I have received this question. I have received this question earlier too, and I know you have very clearly mentioned it in your sessions on Saturdays and Sundays about this question. But please, if you will throw some highlights on this, we would really appreciate it.
Definitely. So I don't know if it's the same person which is asking the same question again and again and again. If it is the same person, there could be two reasons he's asking same question again and again and again. One, he does not believe or he does not understand. I'm hoping that he do believe, maybe he's having a hard time understanding. If that is the case, let me explain one more time. I would never mind explaining one time, dozen time, or 100 times, as long you are willing to understand. So let's go and try to understand this. Intellect, akal. What is intellect and what is akal? उर्दू के अंदर पहले समझते हैं, आसान अल्फाजों में समझते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी बातों की जरूरत नहीं है, आसान अल्फाजों में समझते हैं. हमारे जिस्म की जान हमारी रूह है, हमारी रूह की जान हमारी अक्ल है. The life of our physical body is our soul, and the life of our soul is our intellect. अगर ये बात आप समझ गए तो लिख लें आप, ताकि फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम क्वेश्चन आए तो आप इसको पढ़ सके. जिस्म की जान रूह और रूह की जान अक्ल. सिंपल, आसान अल्फाजों में. अब आए आपके क्वेश्चन की तरफ. जब इंसान गुजर जाता है, यानी कि ये जिस्म मट्टी में मिल जाता है, तो क्या बच जाता है? आप कहेंगे रूह. अगर रूह की जान अकल है तो अकल है या अकल चले गई? आप कहेंगे अकल है. चूंकि आपका सवाल दुगना और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड था, क्योंकि आपने एक तरफ से फ्री विल की बात की और आपने एक तरफ से अकल की बात की. फ्री विल जो है उसका ताल्लुक हमारे जिस्म से है इस दुनिया में. जब हम गुजर जाते हैं, और अगर, यहां पर और अगर है, बट एंड इफ है, इंग्लिश में बट एंड इफ. और अगर हम बुलंद दर्जात पर नहीं पहुंचते हैं तो टेम्पररी हमारी फ्री विल ले ली जाती है हमसे। टेम्पररी क्यों? क्योंकि हमने वो काम अपनी फ्री विल से नहीं किया जिसके लिए हम इस दुनिया में आए थे, तो उसकी पनिशमेंट की खातिर फ्री विल ले ली जाती है। आपकी अक्ल नहीं ले ली जाती है, आपकी फ्री विल ले ली जाती है। उसका एक प्रूफ क्या है बताएं? क्योंकि यहां से जाने के बाद हमको इबादत करनी है और इल्म भी सीखना है। अगर हमारी अक्ल ले ली जाएंगी तो हम कैसे सोच समझ के इबादत करेंगे और कैसे हम सीखेंगे और कैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे। यू सी दैट? हमारी फ्री विल ले ली जाती है, हमारी अक्ल नहीं। सेकंड प्रूफ कि हमारा इंटेलेक्ट स्टेज इंटैक्ट विथ आवर सोल, क्योंकि जब हम आस्ते 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 हमारी रूह तरक्की करते 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 जब इमाम के मकाम के पर पहुंचती है तो वहां पर हमें ना सिर्फ इमाम का दीदार, इमाम का नूर, बल्कि हमें इमाम का इल्म और राज और मारिफत भी दी जाती है। इल्म, राज और मारिफत का ताल्लुक अक्ल से है, दीदार और नूर का ताल्लुक रूह से है। तो आपने देखा, यू नीड बोथ। इसी वजह से आज दुनिया में हमारे पास तीन चीज है, जिस्म, रूह और अकल। जिस्म फानी है, मर जाता है, मट्टी में मिल जाता है। रूह परमानेंट है, इंटेलेक्ट हर हमेशा इंटैक्ट रहता है, कभी भी खत्म नहीं होता है। So I hope this answers your question. जी।
Sir, we have one more question. It is not pertaining to your topic, but she has asked me to ask it. Yali Madad, my question is a bit out of topic, hoping to get some details. She says, I was wondering what is the concept of lunar eclipse, especially when it's on a Friday and complete moon that we had this morning.
आवाज कट रही थी, पूरा सवाल समझ में नहीं आया।
Okay. Yeah, sure. It says, Yali Madad, my question is a bit out of topic, hoping to get some details. I was wondering what is the concept of lunar eclipse, especially when it's on a Friday and complete moon that we had this morning.
Okay, I understand. But one of my friend from Canada reminded me that I had forgotten to explain the jism, the ruh, and the akal in English. My apology. What I was talking about was that we have three beings: a body, which is the dust, and when we die, we go back into the dust. But the soul remains, and the intellect, which is the life of the soul, remains intact with the soul. And we had given two logical answers for that. One, if someone does not cross all of the levels, meaning they did not do everything they were supposed to do in this world, then they need to do two things after they die: ibadat and learning. They could not do ibadat without understanding what they are doing. For that, they need intellect. They cannot learn anything without having the intellect. So the soul and the intellect remains intact together within the soul. The second logical answer was, when he or she gets to the higher level of Fanafi Imam, At that level, they are given few things. Didar, Nur, less ilm, and the marifat, the recognition. The first two, Didar and the Nur for the soul, and the ilm and the marifat for the intellect. And the question was that when we die, our intellect also dies and we do not go to the other side with intellect, just soul goes away. Intellect dies with the body. And that was not a good concept or understanding. And this was the logical learning and answer to that question. I forgot that I had said it in Urdu and I did not translate that in English. Let's come to your second question. The second question, someone is asking about lunar moon and the full moon. I'm going to put the Friday on side. What does it matter if it's on Friday or Saturday or Sunday? You know, so let's talk about lunar moon and the full moon, which is the important part. Okay. What does moon represent? Number one question. What does moon represent compared to sun? What are the stars compared to moon and moon compared to sun? Sun represents the Imam-e-Zaman. The moon represents Pir. Star represents Dai. Now let's take the logical answer. The reason the moon, you see, sometimes very skinny, the very first day, gets grows, get bigger, and a full moon. And then on the other side, it goes down, and again, one single line, and dark night. Because Hujjat and the Pirs are sometimes little visible, more visible, and sometimes they are like a full moon, meaning totally visible. Let me explain the totally visible full moon in two different ways. When Imam himself represents the Pir, he is the example of a full moon because his nur, the sunlight, is on the moon and therefore moon is full. Second, when it is the time of the Piratan and Hujjat, at that time, Pir are in their highest full form and giving the knowledge, hidayat, and Isme Azam from the light of the Imam, and therefore their example is of a full moon. In other time, before and after, they are either little bit visible, less visible, and sometimes they are not visible at all. Which time they were not visible? After Pir Tajdin, until Sultan Muhammad Shah declared the Piratan is with the Imam, the Pir were not visible. Then with Sultan Muhammad Shah, Pir Safzali, a Momin, were given a title of a Pir. But he was almost hidden Pir, like a dark night. Because in his lifetime, no one realized he never got the respect as a Pir would receive. He was like a dark night. Pir, but hidden. So the small moon grows, full moon and down, 28 days. The 28 days are taught by our hujatan and dais. The 28 represent the 12 peers of the day or hujjat of the day, 12 hujjat of the night, and the 4 great hujjatan. Those are the 28 days of the moon. Then we have one dark night, which makes 29, and then we circle around in the Islamic calendar. If someone wants to ask about the why Imam in his Chandras Farman said that new moon, not full moon, new moon will bring you happiness. So there is another question lingering outside. G.
That was very beautifully explained, sir. Thank you. And we have another question. If we as humans have come out of our free will from Alam-e-Zuriyat to earth, then my question is, how about the Asmani Farishte who do not have free will and they are created to serve Allah? So the question here is that before being made Asmani Farishte, when they were in particles form, as we are asked for a choice before being created in humans from particles,
Okay.
I believe.
This is, okay, so looks like a question was made very complicated for no reason at all. So if you give me permission, and with your permission, let me ask you a question on the same line. Let's talk about Insi Farishte or Samavi Farishte. Insi Farishte, earthly angels, human. Samavi Farishte, heavenly angels. This has nothing to do with particle. Nothing to do with particle. That's why I said, let's not make the question very complicated. It's not that hard. So if you accept the question that I'm presenting in front of you, tell us about Samavi Farishte and earthly Farishte. And what is the difference between those two? So let's, if you accept this question, here comes the answer. 3 Natik or 3 speaking being. Animals, human, and angels. Animal barks, makes sound, run around, eat, make babies, and die. They have no free will. Human not only have the intellect, but along with that, a free will. They can act like animal or they can act like angels. Their deeds can be like animal, their deeds can be like angels. They are right in the middle. We are also called 2 things, and I'm sure आपने सबने सुना होगा. All of you have heard of this. And that is what? Human animal and human angels. These 2 terms comes from where do we lean? If we lean towards the animal, then we are called human animal. We are born just like them. We eat just like them. We make babies just like them. We die just like them. What is the difference? Nothing. Until we use our intellect and we lean the other way. Then we are called human angels. And the Samavi, the heavenly angels, only have intellect. They are pure intellect, no free will. No free will. So if you look at the three beings, just free will, and the intellect, just intellect. Three beings. So difference between earthly angels and the Samavi angel is the free will, and free will due to this body. If someone, a mu'min, becomes an angel living in this body, but becomes mutu qabla anta mutu fanafi imam, then he can submit his free will to the imam and instantly becomes heavenly angel. So that is the difference between earthly angels and heavenly angels. In the story of Adam, if I would ask you, which angel said no, that we will not bring the dust from the earth? Which kind of angels were there? Because they had the free will, so there must be earthly angel. Which angel was Iblis, who said, no, I will not prostrate to Adam? Could he be heavenly angel? No, he was earthly angel with free will, and therefore he was able to say, no, I will not prostrate to Adam. That's how we need to pay attention to ilm. Ilm is the only way you can tell a difference between animal and human and angel, and you will be able to tell and understand everything of the Zahir and the Batin. Ji.
Sir, the same person is asking the question that in the 28 days circle that you mentioned about the Hujjatan, the four Hujjatans. So who are the four Hujjatans?
They are the Hujjat-e Azams. So 12 Hujjat-e Roz, 12 Hujjat-e Shab, and 4 Hujjat-e Azam.
All right.
Ji.
So there's another question. If a person sees a dream in which his soul has been taken away smoothly, but he was not frightened at the time when the soul was drawn, then that person sees in the dream that his soul goes up to ceiling from where he was made to observe a scene of his childhood when he was just a year old, whereby he was taking baby steps happily. How could this be understood through a spiritual lens? Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I got it. इसको कहते हैं, इस सवाल को कहते हैं कि दुनियाए ज़ाहिर में रहकर आलमे बाला का सवाल पूछना. This kind of question is called that you live in this physical world, but your intellect lives in the other world, the world of the Ruhaniyat. बहुत ही खूबसूरत question. All right, so let's talk about this. आलम ज़ाहिर Alame Khayal, Alame Khab, Alame Ruhaniyat. There are 4 levels of universe. The physical universe, the universe of the thoughts, the universe of the dreams, and the universe of the Ruhaniyat. Let's take the 2 in the middle. The Alam-e Khayal, universe of the thought, Alam-e Khab, universe of the dream. Those 2 are the example of Alam-e Ruhaniyat. But in the example and the form of Alam-e Zahir. So if you have a piece of paper, write down Alam-e Zahir, Alam-e Ruhaniyat, write down Alam-e Khayal, Alam-e Khab in the middle. Alam-e Khayal is more closer to Alam-e Zahir, Alam-e Khab is more closer to Alam-e Ruhaniyat. What does dream do for us? And what does Alam-e Khayal do for us? Alam-e Khayal instantly shows us the timelessness and spacelessness. As soon you think of something, without taking any time and space, you fly to that place. Let's say that right now you are in Karachi. You think of this home. You are with me right here in your khayal. Does not take any time, nor it takes space. Because time and space are limited to Alam-e Dunya, the jism, the physical body is limited to that. Alam-e Khab compared to Alam-e Khayal, Alam-e Khab is given to the Mu'mineen, especially. Everyone dreams. But especially to the Mu'mineen, Alam-e Khab is given as a reward, a miracle to the Mu'mineen. Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in one of his hadith says that I was given 46 miracles by Allah. I will leave you one miracle, the last one, the 46th miracle, and that is the miracle of dream. I will leave that for the Mu'mineen of the time of Qiyamah, our time. In your dream, I'm not going to do interpretation for you, okay? But generically, because dream is from the miracle of the Imam, sometimes Imam teaches us and shows us. If we can learn from it, we will benefit a great deal. If we ignore, we will lose a great deal. So in the dream, if a moment sees his soul taken away, scared or not scared, it has no, burden on the dream. If you are scared when your soul is taken, or if you're not scared when your soul is taken, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is there a meaning when you're scared and not scared? Yes, definitely there is a meaning. But in this conversation, don't worry about that part, that you were scared or not scared. If Mu'min is shown that his soul is taken out from his body, Imam is teaching that, look, I can take the soul out of your body as I have put the soul in your body. And let me show you, I can do that again. In one of the Quranic ayat, Allah says, they are asking you that on that day, the day of Qiyamah, I will bring them alive when they are become a dust and bones. Tell them, did I not bring them alive from nothingness? Just like that, I will bring them alive on the day of Qiyamah. In your dream, there is a tawil of that ayat. If we have the ilm, we will be able to connect that dream and this ayat. Imam is showing you, look, how easy I can take the soul out of your body. Just as easy as I have put your soul in your body. And I can do it again. I can show you again. Seeing yourself or others as a child is a symbol, a learning, a teaching to Mu'min. Are you still acting like a child and taking baby steps? There's a positive and there's a negative teaching and learning in this. One, are you still a baby and taking a baby step? Second, take baby step and grow up. First one, negative, don't be child. Second, do take baby step to grow up. So that's how the dreams can be beneficial for the mu'mineen who has ilm of the dream. There is an ilm of the dream. आलम ख्वाब का भी एक इल्म होता है, जिस तरह से आलम रूहानियत का इल्म होता है. Just like there is the ilm of आलम रूहानियत, there is the ilm of आलम ख्वाब. जी.
Sir, I don't think people want you to go because I'm just getting more questions. But there's a continuation of this question about the dream. Somebody is asking, what does it mean if you never have any recollection of your dreams?
Another good question, very good question. Everyone dreams. Some remembers, some don't. People who do remember, the reason is because their conscience and their mind is always at a clear level, balanced level. Meaning, in their dreams, they are not running into their businesses, in their stores, just running around, driving around for no purpose. Because they are calm and their conscience is clear. That's why they remember their dreams more visibly, more clearly than others. Second reason for someone to remember dream is because they intentionally do tasbih, giryawzari, sujood before they go to sleep. Because sleep is also part of your ibadat. So if you do that, then your dream will be more visible and clear. And there is a third way. There is a third way and the higher way. There is actually a dua in the Quran. The Ya Allah, make my dream peaceful for me. What does it mean? Make my dream a way of ilm and a way of a peace and a way of a happiness for me. If you don't mind, my friends, my listener, my buzrugs, mu'min sleeps early. And before they sleep, they do dua, tasbih, sajda, shukr guzari, remembrance, isme azam, all of that, because they have time to do all of that, because they go to bed early. But for some reason, there has been a fashion, some kind of fashion statement that, oh my God, I stay up until midnight. Every night, I'm up until midnight. That has become a fashion statement. That is not a good sign for a Mu'min. Mu'min, according to Imam Farman, goes to bed early and rises early. The benefit of going to bed early is that you have time to do your tasbih, ibadat, sajud, kriya, wazari before you sleep. Hopefully, that will translate into good dreams and clear and visible dreams. Ji.
So we have one question that is, could you explain the seventh verse of the Ginan that we were on? They need to know the meaning of the seventh verse one more time. If you could just brief it a little bit. And then we have one more question if you would like to take that. Uh, I know it's late and you have a morning session at 7 o'clock, but it's your call.
So part 7, in which it says, oh brother, two kinds of cloud will hover in the time of Qiyamah. A cow will give birth to two claves. Okay. So remember, the Ginan is about the time of Qiyamah. There will be, what does cloud do? Number one, what does cloud do? Cloud hides the sun, the moon, the light, the stars. That is the purpose of the cloud, right? It hides everything. What other thing cloud do? Give us the water, rain. So in the time of the Qiyamah, there will be two kinds of clouds. Two kinds of clouds. One cloud will hide the facts, the truth, the Imam from the people. Second, there will be so much cloud, so much ilm, so much water, and those two clouds will look the same with the two different purposes. One of hiding the truth, and second, to give the knowledge. Those are the two clouds of the time of Qiyamah. To hide this fact, if you remember, the language and the vocabulary used in the Ginan is to teach and at the same time not to disclose Ruhaniyat to everybody. Ruhaniyat is there, but not to disclose to everyone. So it is called to change the subject. He changed the subject. I mean, look at the subject on the top, look at the subject on the bottom, and look at the subject in this middle line. Do you see? It talks about the two clouds, the two secrets of the time of Qiyamah. Then he changes the subject. Then गाय जो है वो दो बछड़े को जन्म देंगी. He changes the subject. He takes your mind away from the fact. He does not want everybody to catch him talking about Ruhaniyat. Then you will find the same principle in Quran. Matter of fact, you will find the same principle in Farman. When an imam gives you a very high grade secret, instantly he will change the subject. So those who are not intellectual will run after what? The second example, where he has changed the subject. But those who are intellectual will do what? He said, wait a minute, you just told me a big secret. Let me ponder on that. G. Let's take one more question and then we can finish. As
Yes, sir.
you see, we have to get up early in the morning.
Yes, sir. So actually, these two questions I think are related with each other because one, I'll just read out both the questions to you and you can take your call. What is the difference between the world of thoughts and the world of imagination? Are both the same? And what does the meaning when Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah Alaihi Wasallam said that when you are free, then you spare 2 to 4 hours to be in the khayal of your ruh? And how does this farman mean in the perspective of world of thoughts and world of imagination? Second part of the question is Baitul Khayal be understood through the lens of the world of thoughts and world of imagination. Please explain. And so there is continuation. We have another question that I feel was with the dream thing that was there, that there was no answer to what it means if you do not recall your dreams. Does it mean you are closer to being a human animal?
The last question. So what I did was by saying, let me tell you the positive of that question. And I said all the positive of the question. So we do not ponder on the negative of that question. So if you understood the positive of that question, then your answer was there. Okay? So I did answer it only in the positive manner, and I left the negative manner out. Okay? So sometimes as a teacher, we have to be careful because we wanted to make sure we are not walking on someone's emotion and we are not hurting anyone. So we have to be very careful in our answer. Come to your other. In Alam-e Khiyal, the world of thoughts. World of thought, you can say world of imagination. Only difference between world of thoughts and world of imagination is world of thought is more geared toward the reality because it's closer to Alam-e-Jism, Alam-e-Zahir. And world of imagination is more geared toward the astral or the spiritual realm. उर्दू के अंदर इसको अलग अलग नामों से याद किया जाता है, आलम ख्याल और आलम मुशाहिदा. There are two different terms for that. The world of thought and world of imagination. Even though they are both one and the same, first one is closer to the reality and other one is more closer to the realm of higher being or spiritual world. That's the difference. I believe there was a question A part 2 in which the person was asking about the Betul Khayal. Betul Khayal. And Imam saying, sit in the thought for 2 hours and think of your soul. Betul Khayal, the word Betul Khayal is there for a reason. Betul means higher and inner. Betul Khayal, higher and inner. So when we sit in the ibadat, we are doing two things. We are going to the higher realm and inner world. That is Besul Khayal. The reason Imam has given us the Farman like that, to give 2 hours thought to your soul, so you may not just sit with eyes closed and thinking of your soul, but to learn, 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 and learn. The more you learn, the Ilmi Hakiki. What is Ilmi Hakiki? Ilm of the Imam. The more you would know your soul. And Mola Ali says, those who know their soul know Allah. Then he said, those who know their soul more knows Allah more. So 2 hours of thought is to recognize your soul so you may recognize Allah. So recognize your soul more so you can recognize Allah more. Why there are two different statements? Because recognition is on the levels. Is on the level. So when you know your soul, you are here. When you know your soul more, you are here. There are levels in between knowing and knowing. There are levels. G. I think we should stop here. It's almost 10:20.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to take this opportunity. Yeah, Rehman Bhai is right here. So, Rehman Bhai, can you please go ahead and...
I think it's a wonderful session. And thank you so much, Aziz Bhai, for making these presentations. And we'll meet every 2 weeks. So we'll be meeting 2 weeks from now on Friday. Arshia, you are doing a wonderful presentation and moderation. So thank you so much for taking in charge from the very beginning to the end. And I really appreciate. And you are in Pakistan right now, so I hope you are enjoying there. And Aziz Bhai has a session in the morning, and then he has another session too, another private session. So he will continuously working. Look like he has dedicated his life to give knowledge to everybody all the time. So he's doing a wonderful job and he's very dedicated. And I really appreciate Aziz Bhai for doing a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. And everybody, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, Yali
Yali
Madad.
Madad, Yali Madad, everybody. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rehman Bhai, for this opportunity. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm enjoying in Karachi. I love it here. Thank you, Aziz sir, for such a wonderful session. Yali Madad, everybody.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, everybody.
Yali Madad. All. Shukr.
Shukr. Alhamdulillah. Ameen.